to get the recorder going. And we're ready to start the cutting edge here on May 14th, 2014, and we always start with the following disclaimer that this presentation is for informational and educational purposes only, and since we're going to be talking about issues of health and well-being, we want to make sure you understand this information is not intended to treat, diagnose, heal, or cure anything. Everything contained in the presentation are the opinions of Dr. Alex Lloyd, Johanna Chan, our weekly practitioner of the custom codes, and myself, Ken Johnston, your host for today's call. You should always check with a licensed healthcare provider about any specific health concerns you may have. We also like to open each program with the following quote. We're beginning now to understand things that we know in our hearts are true but could never measure. As we get a better understanding of how little we know about the body, we begin to realize the next big frontier in medicine is energy medicine. It's not the mechanistic parts of the joints moving. It's not the chemistry of our body. It's understanding for the first time how energy influences how we feel. And that was a quote by Dr. Oz on the Oprah program back in November of 2007. And the reason we bring it up is the purpose of these calls are to provide current and relevant information on this subject of energy medicine from a variety of perspectives, including a medical, scientific, and mostly spiritual perspective. So with that said, we want to welcome back Dr. Alex Lloyd, who has spent the last several weeks in Europe combing the landscape there and teaching folks about what we do. So, Alex, welcome.
Thank you so much, Ken, and thank you, everyone, for being here. We are so honored every single week by your presence. It is so good to be home, but I had such an awesome time. I did, I think, 8 different events in 5 different cities over 2.5 weeks in Switzerland, Germany, and Austria. And people there were so gracious, so wonderful, so kind, so loving, and so excited about what we're doing. The publishers in the German language told me that over the last year and a half in the German language, so this is all of 2013 and the first half of 2014, the Healing Code book has been the #1 selling book in the German language, hardback, softback, everything, which just absolutely is mind-boggling to me. It's been in the top 10 of all paperback books for 57 weeks and has been a top 10 bestseller in most of the other European countries as well. And every city I went to, people came up and told me of their cancer healing, their Parkinson's healing, their depression healing, relationships healing. It was absolutely overwhelming because we've never heard from any of these people. We have many brothers and sisters in Europe that are like-minded and wanting to live their life in love and truth and peace, and it was so wonderful to be with them all. I know some of them are listening today. Okay, what we're going to talk about for a few minutes here is a whole book. I could do a whole book on what we're talking about today, and maybe I will someday, and some of this is in another book, but I'm going to try to get through this as efficiently as I can. But to me, what we're talking about today is so foundational to everything in your life: health, illness, happiness, sadness, relationships, wonderful or strained, you name it. And what we're going to talk about today is kind of a blueprint or an owner's manual, in a way, for those issues, especially if you're struggling with those issues. And I'm going to start again. I read this quote not too long ago from Dr. Bernie Siegel, one of my favorites. And I'm going to start with this again today, and I think you'll realize why probably in about 15 minutes. But this is Dr. Bernie Siegel, medical doctor, author of Love, Medicine, and Miracles. And here's what he said. Most people make life's important decisions by using their intellect. They think and become logical. Thus, their path in life becomes pathological. As a physician, I know how important our feelings are. We store a lifetime of feelings in our body. If not felt and responded to, they lead to disease. Once again, a state of pathology. So kind of keep that in the backdrop of what we're going to be discussing today. And here's where I want to start. Every problem and any problem you can ever have in your life has some commonalities about it. And if we take these commonalities apart, sometimes we can figure out where it comes from and what has to happen in order to fix it. The commonalities are light versus darkness, love versus fear, truth versus falsehood. Just like ingredients in a cake or ingredients in some recipe. And you can have an infinite number of combinations among those basic ingredients, but in any problem area you're ever going to have in your life, you're going to have these ingredients. And as Dr. Caroline Leaf said in her best-selling book, Who Turned Off My Brain, we don't have a single mechanism in our heart, spirit, soul, mind, or body for the negative. Not one. Everything is made to function perfectly, to function in harmony, to function in health. So whenever we experience the negative, it's a malfunction of something. So that means I've got darkness instead of light in my cells. That means I've got fear instead of love in my mind or my inner subconscious. It means I've got a falsehood that I'm believing, and every wrong belief and in every memory that is creating stress in my brain and nervous system, there's a falsehood. Always. No exceptions. So those are some common ingredients. A number of years ago, I started teaching a thing that I called the what, the why, and the who. And it's simply that in any issue in life, there was a what, a why, and a who. The what is the symptom and the circumstance. It is pain-pleasure-based, which means to seek pleasure and avoid pain, and it's primarily physical, even if it's a non-physical issue. It's coming from your hardwired survival instinct, pain, pleasure, seek pleasure, avoid pain, hard drive mechanisms. The why is why you're doing what you're doing. You know, I know I should be making those sales calls, but for some reason I don't do it. I know I should spend more time with my wife. I know I should exercise. I know I shouldn't drink so much. I know, but why, in spite of knowing that, am I not doing that? That's the why. And then the who is the real reason why you're doing it. And it is always an identity issue. It's always a heart issue. It's always a spiritual issue. It's always about who you are. Am I a person who deserves health and happiness? Am I a person who lives in love? Am I a person who can be successful? Or am I not? Am I a failure? Am I going to get cancer because my dad did and heart disease because my mom did? And a whole bunch of other things. And so I'm just following my programming. So the what, the why, and the who, the what is what we think the problem is. It's the symptom. The why is why we're acting in that situation. And the who is why we're really doing it, that we usually never know. And it's always about issues of the heart and our identity. Identity is primarily a spiritual heart issue. The pain-pleasure programming is hardwired to your physical body, your un- and subconscious mind, and your conscious mind, and then your programming is spiritual and mental. It's like the software on a computer. It's both. They interact, but they're different as well. Your identity and your pain-pleasure programming may directly contradict each other, and all the time, okay? Your programming, which is the software, comes out of and is influenced by both your identity and your pain pleasure programming. Okay, so these things are, I heard an illustration one time of a cherry pie, and the guy said, you take a really good Southern cherry pie and you cut it into pieces, and then about 10 seconds later, you can't see where the pieces are anymore because the cherry parts all run back together again. So even though underneath it's still separated, you can't really see the separation. And that's how your identity, your pain, pleasure, hardwired programming, and then our software programming, which is mind and spirit, work. They're separate, but they overlap, and they all interact with each other. Now, you can have an overall, meaning Alex Lloyd, my whole life, and everything about my life. I can have an overall identity of who I am. I can have an overall way that my pain, pleasure programming acts on me. I call that the flesh. And so it's physical things, it's ice cream, it's sex, it's television, it's 1,000 different things, okay? So I can have an overall of that, and then I can have issues specific about those things. So I can have an overall identity of myself that may be, hey, I'm an okay guy, but then maybe when it comes to business and being successful, I have an identity that comes from my father, mother, grandparents, or just something I learned in relation to my brothers and sisters, or a bully on the playground at school, okay, where maybe about that specific area, I think, you know what, I'm just not that guy that can be real successful at business. I just can't. And so I have a poor, maybe you even say a wrong identity of myself in a specific area, even if overall I think I'm an okay guy, okay? And I can also have programming, software, unconscious, subconscious, and conscious. I can also have programming that is great about one area, but maybe is full of lies and fear and darkness about another area. So there can be an overall, and then there can be a specific to particular issues, all right? So what I would advise this week, as you go sit under your tree and pray, that's what I say because I sit under a tree. But if for you that's walking or whatever, but as you pray and sit under your tree this week, I would sort of take stock of those things. What about my life do I feel like is, man, that is really good. I feel really good about that area of my life. But then this area of my life, something's going on there, okay? Well, you can be guaranteed that you've got a what, why, and who issue related to that. And you can also almost be guaranteed that you have pain, pleasure, programming, or what I call the flesh, that is interfering with that area of your life being in love and joy and peace, okay? And it's putting you into fear and stress instead of love and joy and peace. So for any problem, you have to examine all three. And there's two threes that we've talked about. One is the what, the why, the who. The second one is your identity, your pain, pleasure, hardwired programming, and your software programming, which would be spiritual and mental, okay? So for any issue in your life, you have to examine both of those sets of three. For the what, the why, and the who, what's the symptom? What is the reason I would most, quickly say, this is why I do that? And then third, what is the real reason that's based on my identity of who I am at the deepest core of my being? And then in addition to those two sets of three, we've got to throw in the ingredients: love versus fear, truth versus falsehood, light versus darkness. So if I've got an issue with being successful in business, I've got to find out, okay, what's my identity issue related to that? Okay, what is the programming, the pain, pleasure, the what, the why, and the who related to that? And what's the lie I'm believing? Okay? Because there's always a lie you're believing in an area where you're not in love and joy and peace. There's always a lie. From the lie comes stress and fear, and from the stress and fear comes health problems, broken relationships, and more failure. You know, we come into the world with all of these. We come in with hardwired programming of the flesh to seek pleasure and avoid pain. We come in with programming, with software programming about issues in life from our genealogy and our ancestors. We come into the world with software programming, also from ancestors and what we learned those first 6 years of life, the way our parents treat us, our physical life circumstances, if we have enough to eat, if we're warm when it's cold outside, if we can not be burning up when it's hot outside, you know, our physical safety. We come into the world with all of those. And nothing changes, typically, unless your identity changes. Now, you can work on symptoms all day long, and you might make some progress on those, okay? You know, get the latest book on changing your behavior or changing your thought patterns or changing your emotions or whatever. Man, billions of dollars have been made on those things over the last 65 years. The problem is there's a 97% failure rate over the last 65 years on those things too. And the reason is because typically until your identity issue changes, none of the rest of it changes. Change your identity of who you are, from a lie to the truth, from darkness to light, from fear to love, and your programming starts to change automatically. And you don't even have to sweat and work to change those thought patterns and emotions. If your identity changes, they automatically change. And then, sometimes for the first time in your life, you have the ability to override your seek pleasure and avoid pain hardwired programming. And most people, in my experience, in their entire life, never get to that point. They live their whole life at 20, at 30, at 60, at 80, by seek pleasure and avoid pain. Well, the only way you're ever going to be able to override that is in light, love, and truth, which means you have to be transformed and reprogrammed in your heart and mind. And once that happens, then, yes, then you can say, you know what, even if it hurts, I'm doing this, because that's what's right. And even if I don't get this thing that I really want, I'm doing this because it's what I believe in, it's what I want to do, it's a higher good. Your identity is mainly spiritual. Your programming is mainly mental. Your pain, pleasure, hardwired programming is mainly physical. But all of them overlap, and they all affect each other. You know, as I was thinking about this week, and I was in Europe when I was thinking about this, and I met so many people over there, saw so many beautiful things, this thought occurred to me. To continue in a cycle of fear, falsehood, and darkness, to continue in a cycle of the flesh, to continue in a cycle of seeking pleasure and avoiding pain in almost any and every circumstance of life, and basically evaluating success or failure in everything in your life by seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, and was I successful or not at that? When you know that by doing that over time, it's going to make the pain worse and worse. And that the pain will be worse than the pleasure that you receive from seeking pleasure. When we do that primarily for adrenaline, for dopamine, as we've talked about before, as far as why we get into this stress response, because of those brain chemicals, the dopamine cycle, the adrenaline cycle. When we do it for that, you know, to me, the thing that came up to me, and I know this is a stupid example, but it's what came up to me. It's almost like saying, okay, you know what? I've got a hammer here, and I'm barefoot. I'm almost always barefoot. So in order to experience the release of adrenaline and that dopamine, the chemical rush, I'm going to smash my toe. I mean, isn't that stupid? Isn't that the craziest thing you've ever heard of? I mean, to sit here, and I really am barefoot. I don't have a hammer in the room. I should have had a hammer in the room. But if while I was talking to you, I said, oh, man, seek pleasure, avoid pain. I want some of that adrenaline and some of that dopamine and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to smash my toe with the hammer. Well, I know no one would do that because we would think that's stupid, and it is. But how stupid is it, how double dumb is it to live 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of my life seeking pleasure and avoiding pain related to things that can never bring me ultimate pleasure or the pain relief that's related to my identity and who I am and my relationship with God, my relationship with you, my relationship with hope, that is what I really, truly want and need most in life. How stupid is that? I might as well take the hammer to my toe. It'd be a whole lot faster. And you know, I bet if I did that with the hammer in my toe, I bet I wouldn't do it again. But the other seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, I do over and over and over and over again. It's an addiction. And I do it all my life. And I don't even know why I'm doing that. And that's one of the things that impressed me when I went to Europe, is I would have all these people at these events, and we would do question and answer time, and so many people just said, I don't know why I keep doing this. I mean, I know it's not good. I know I'm going to end up with the same results I always have. I know I'm not going to be successful. I know it's not going to help my health, or it's going to hurt my health or relationships or whatever. Why do I keep doing this, and how can I change it? Well, if you've listened to this program long, you know that to me, the answer to that question, number 1 through 10, for me, is prayer and my relationship with God. Number 1 is prayer. Number 2 is prayer. Number 3 is prayer. Number 5 is prayer. Number 9 is prayer. Number 10 is prayer, okay? But then maybe about 11, I'm going to start taking a look at, okay, where is this coming from in my life? Who do I believe I am? What are my identity issues? Where am I seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, rather than saying I'm going to act in love regardless of the pain, regardless of the pleasure, no matter what comes, okay? And then get out the master key, get out the healing codes, and reprogram, deprogram. And then once I'm living from an internal state of love, joy, and peace, I'm going to say, you know what? My goal is to live the next 30 minutes in love no matter what I'm doing. And the most important thing in regard to that is relationships. I was on the way home, and this is the Monday edition of this week of USA Today, okay? What's the date of that? That's 2 days ago. So whatever today is, 2 days ago, this edition of USA Today came out, and on the front page of USA Today, a new study that suggests that based on your relationships and whether they're loving or stressed, the odds of you getting a disease and dying in middle age are 2 to 3 times greater if you are in strained or stressed relationships than if you are in loving relationships. Well, there is no love outside of relationship. So if everything boils down to love versus fear, then everything boils down to relationship with yourself, with others, and with God. So as you sit under your tree and pray this week, man, I would just pray, meditate, think about this stuff, and get your legal pad and a piece of paper and say, where are the problem issues of my life? Where am I experiencing fear, darkness, bad results that I don't want, and I'm doing it over and over again, and I'm believing a lie? And what's the lie I'm believing? And how can I change that, fix that, start believing the truth, and finally live the life that I want to live? And it doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from replacing fear with love, darkness with light, falsehood with truth. Okay? So I encourage you to do that this week. Pray and meditate about it. Get out the tools. Change those underlying beliefs. Pull those splinters out that are those lies that we're believing about our identity and worth and who we are and who we're not, that are generational, that we've learned, that have come from our families, that have come from friends, that have come from the playground, wherever they've come from. And let's heal those, and let's start living our life in love and truth and success. Okay? So that's my 2 cents for this week. Do with it what you will. And but we have got to get out of pain, pleasure to love and truth. If we don't, nothing will ever change. Thank you, Ken.
Great, Alex. Thank you very much. Great foundational topic for today. And we're going to shift gears now and give a number of you an opportunity to get a custom code, as we always do during this portion. So let me first say hello to Johanna Chan. Hello, Johanna.
Hello, Ken.
How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Wonderful. Let me give you some guidelines for getting a custom code. First, we would ask that, and this is a requirement, basically, that you know how to do the healing codes. You have either learned it from the book or one of the programs, the healing codes or success codes, but you know how to activate the 4 healing centers. It's necessary to do that in order for a custom code to have any value to you. Ideally, we would ask that you have already, you've been doing the codes, you've gone through the 12 days, and you would understand that if you have the book or the program, what those 12 categories or 12 days would look like. And that just gives you a jump start on activating these centers. So ideally you've done that and are not just a newbie. But next, to get into the queue, to get a custom code, all you have to do is press *2 on your phone. It is necessary that you be on a phone system. But *2 will put you into the queue. And I really encourage you, because we've got a lot of time today, so we will be able to get to several people, but go ahead and get in the queue by pressing *2, and I'm going to randomly select out of that queue and give the last 4 digits of your phone number out so that we know who we're going to be talking to. So with that said, please press *2. There's only a few in the queue right now, so don't hesitate and don't be shy. But *2 will get you into the queue, and we're going to go ahead and start with a caller with a phone number ending in 447. That's 4460. Your line's open, and who are we speaking with?
My name is Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Oh, I can't believe I got through. This is so wonderful.
So what would you like to address, Kathy?
Well, I have this terrible condition called burning tongue syndrome, and everything I eat burns my tongue and it also comes back up from my stomach like acid reflux into my mouth. And I've been doing the healing codes for a few weeks. I've done the heart test, and I've been going through all the categories. And I've been doing the healing codes twice a day. So I just wanted to ask you if you could give me a custom code.
We can certainly get one for you. Kathy, how does this condition make you feel? What is the main feeling or negative belief you have about this condition?
Helpless.
I'm sorry.
Helpless and sometimes hopeless. I've had it for 6 or 7 years, and I've tried every kind of doctor, every kind of healing, acupuncture. I mean, everything you can name.
Okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, how strong is it right now?
The pain.
The feeling of hopelessness.
The feeling of helplessness. Well, since I've been doing the healing codes, it's dissipated.
Good.
So I'd say it's only a 6, maybe.
Okay. When you think about this feeling of helplessness or hopelessness, do you recall an early memory in your life when you felt this way about something? Maybe when you were a child?
Yes. I've been working with that picture. It just doesn't seem to. I think that the picture has dissipated, but not completely.
And were you very young in memory?
Yes, I was very young.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what I would continue to encourage you to do, is address any memories, any times when you felt this type of helplessness or hopelessness. And it seems like that could be a key one, since you recognize what it is right now. About how strong is that one right now? That early memory you were just referring to.
Oh, it's pretty strong. It's an 8 or a 9.
Okay, so that's the one we want to continue to heal. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go back and try to relive it. You just want to kind of check on it as you do the healing codes. I would recommend using the code I'm going to give you to continue to address the 12 categories over the next 2 weeks, and that way you won't be leaving anything undone.
Okay.
You could even filter it by doing, say, you look at forgiveness and say, okay, regarding this condition and the way I feel about this condition, this helplessness or hopelessness, are there any forgiveness issues with myself, others, or God that I recognize here? And then you could, kind of do that through each category. But I'm going to give you a custom code to use. It's going to be a lot
I've been
stronger.
doing that on some other issues, and I do find I have some really bad forgiveness issues about myself.
Okay.
I can't think of anybody necessarily that I haven't forgiven, except I'm having such a hard time with myself with a few things that I've done.
Okay, and we definitely want to work on that.
Okay.
We definitely want to work on that. Okay, so let's get this a code for you. Can you say for me, I desire to be healthy.
I desire to be healthy.
I am ready to test
I am ready
truthfully.
Truthfully.
To test truthfully.
To test truthfully.
Okay, good. Okay, say the fear issues.
The fear issues.
Okay, good. Okay, write this down.
Okay.
Left hand temple, right hand Adam's apple.
Okay.
Both hands bridge.
Okay.
Both hands Adam's apple.
Okay.
And then left hand Adam's apple, right hand jaw.
Okay.
And let's do this for at least 8 minutes.
Okay.
and 2 times a day. You could do this more than 2 times a day, and you can do it longer. I mean, usually more is better, but a minimum of 8 minutes and twice a day. And let's go through the 12 categories.
Okay, now is this the code that I should use continually then instead of the universal code?
Yes, this is your code. This is very customized to you. It's going to be a lot more powerful.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And you want to use this for a couple of weeks. Now, after a couple of weeks, you could return back to the universal code, or, if you have the program, the manual, or if you want to work with a coach, you can get another custom code. The custom codes are not like permanently, they're not like the universal code that has a real steady frequency that's good for everything. This is customized to you, so it's stronger for you. But after a couple of weeks, it isn't as strong.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and mute Kathy's line. And our next caller comes from a phone number ending in 2276. And before I open that line, I do encourage you, there's still plenty of slots in the queue here, so press that *2 on your phone to get in the queue. But we're going to go ahead and open the line for 2276. 2276, your line is open. And who are we speaking with?
My name is Ann.
Hi, Ann.
Hello,
Hi.
Ann.
Hi. I actually do have a custom code already. My question is, I've been using it with the master key and the 12 steps, and I'm confused as to, first of all, I have no use of my left hand, so I think the placement of my hands, which seems to work okay.
Yeah.
But as I'm going through the master key and saying the words of the master key, trying to think through, like, if I'm on step 1 of the 12 steps or step 2, it's confusing to me. Am I thinking through all of that while I'm saying the words, while I'm doing the codes, the individual codes, or how does that work?
What you want to do, and this is described in your manual of the master key. So what you want to do is in your prayer, that's where you put what your intention is, what you want to address. So if it's a physical condition, what is the negative feeling or belief you have about that physical condition? If you're in a category, for example, forgiveness, and you've recognized a forgiveness issue, then you want to put that forgiveness issue in the prayer. That's where you set your sights on. That's where you set your intention on what you want to heal. Then you do, that's your prayer. Then you do the code, whichever code you're using, in about 30 seconds. You just kind of, take those 30 seconds to do the code. And then during the master key, you focus on the words and the images from those words, whether they're the images that you're seeing in the DVD or the video, or whether they're images that are coming to you in your mind's eye. You just want to be focused on those positive images, and you don't have to be thinking about anything else. You've already set your intention in the beginning. You've already done the code, and all you need to do is focus on those master keys.
Oh, I've been doing it all wrong because I've been trying to think through the codes through the whole master key and sing the words.
Yeah, that's a bit, well, it's not wrong. I mean, it's not going to hurt, but it's a lot to be thinking about. You want to relax a little more and just do it in those stages. Now, you have a custom code already. Did you get it from a practitioner? Did you get it from our
I got
session?
it from you.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Matter of fact, I think it's the same code you just gave the last gal.
Oh, well, that's interesting because they're all customized. I don't have any set codes to choose from. I just test as I give them.
Yeah.
Okay, Ann.
I will try that then for the next couple weeks. Thank you.
Okay, very good.
Okay, we're going to go ahead then and mute Ann's line. And our next caller comes from a phone number ending in 9254. That's 9254. Your line's open. And who are we speaking with?
Hi, Ken. This is Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Hello, Johanna.
And what would you like to address?
Okay. I have a growth in my right eye, which has been there for a while, and being the person I am, it took me this long to actually I've had the healing codes for a long time, but I had not known about the conference calls and had been kind of out of touch for a while. However, I do have a friend who has gone through the coaching program and can give custom codes, and I do get custom codes from her occasionally when I'm able to do that. However, this and I'm not one to go to the medical community very often, but anyway, I finally did a couple of days ago about this eye growth at the insistence of my children. They are going to have to remove that, and you know, if all is well there, then that would be the end of it. Hopefully, the story there as far as. But if it should be cancerous and have spread to other parts of the body, that's what I'm wanting a code for.
Okay, so what are you feeling? Are you having fear regarding?
Well,
this,
I'm trying not to. I am.
Yeah, of course.
I've been back with the healing coach for several weeks now before I ever decided. I kept thinking, you know, that maybe just. I mean, I'm familiar with the original. I years ago when this all started, I was one of the early ones finding out about the healing codes back then, and I purchased the healing codes, and the success codes came along, and I purchased that program. Now, I think I know what the universal code is. I've not purchased other programs since then, and I know you've heard talk about. I've heard you all speak about the Master Key. Master Key. I'm not familiar with that. That was another thing I was going to ask you a little bit about that. I don't have, that program or understand exactly what it is. The universal code, I believe I know that's the bridges, Adam's apple, and then the jaw, and then the temple in that order.
That's correct. Yeah, okay. That's
I had learned. I had learned that from the call as well. But I have the CDs, for the
okay.
for the healing codes. Now, are there, because I'm not finding in my success codes package, which I guess I need to be working on the healing codes right now more than do success, I suppose. But are there supposed? I couldn't remember if there were supposed to be CDs with that program or not. If there are, I've got to locate them because they're not in the package.
Yeah, well, the CDs should have come with your package. Some of them do and some of them don't. But what I would encourage you to do, Allison, we can create a customized code for you to use right now. And then after a couple of weeks, I would grab that healing code manual that you have and use those codes that are in
I do. I use I have my healing codes manual and CD.
Okay.
It's the success that I was speaking of. I have my success package, but I didn't find any CD. And it's been a long time since I actually didn't use a success code ever as much as I did the healing code originally when I purchased it. I just had more. It seemed like more need. Well, I've not had a lot of health issues, but it seemed like whenever I'd have anything, I would grab my healing codes and my CDs, and I'd go through the 12 days, or I would zero in on a particular issue, whatever at the time, So like I said, life happened over the years, and I just kind of drifted away, and some of the other people that were kind of doing those things with me at that time aren't in this area anymore, and I don't know, like life just happened. And then, but here in the last couple months or so, last 2 or 3 months, I've been back with the healing codes and trying to catch the conference calls, every time they came out. So so I just need whatever you can do for me, what you think.
Well, we'll get a custom code for you to use to continue addressing anything at all, any feelings, any negative feelings, thoughts, or beliefs that you're having, particularly with this growth in your eye. You want to
and with my entire body. I want my body to be, to not be going through some other thing that wouldn't be physically visible that I wouldn't know had manifested.
Yeah,
maybe.
so that's why you want to continue to go through those 12 categories. Anything in those categories that you recognize that still have negative feelings, thoughts, beliefs, any charges, then that's what you want to do, and that's what many people do. They just continue to go through the 12. So let me get you a custom code that you could use.
I don't mean to interrupt, but should I zero in on ones that are particular symptoms? Should I zero in on those codes more, do them longer or more often, or just quickly?
What you want to do is focus on whatever is bothering you the most is usually the best guide.
Okay. But then, but in addition, I still need to go through all 12.
Well, I would make a point to go through all 12. You don't have to necessarily do them in that order. You can use the Heart Issue Finder if you do that questionnaire, which is on the Healing Codes website. That'll give you some indicators of, go to the ones that have this stronger.
Well, should I do all 12 every day?
No. No. I would say one category per day.
One category per day, okay. And then if I have one category that I'm particularly concerned about, maybe do it in addition.
Yeah, you can camp out there longer, absolutely.
Okay, great. Okay, great.
Okay, let's get your code for you. Can you say for me, I desire to be healthy?
I desire to be healthy.
I am ready to test truthfully.
I am ready to test truthfully.
Okay. All right, say the fear issues.
The fear issues.
Okay, write this down. Now, this code is going to be good for every single category for you for the next 10 days to 2 weeks. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So use this code. Use this code rather than the codes that are in the manual. But you can use the manual as far as helping you study and explore the category each day. So you take one category, and you want to read over that category, explore it, see what you see there that's still bothering you, and then use this code to address it, okay?
Rather than the code in there.
That's right. That's right. Use the code I'm going to give you.
Okay, I read and so on, and then but instead of using that code that's in there, I use the one you're going to give me.
That's right. Okay. So write this one down.
Okay.
Left hand bridge, right hand jaw. Both hands, temples.
Okay.
Both hands, jaws.
Okay.
And both hands, Adam's apple.
Okay.
And let's do this 3 times a day. And let's do this 8 to 10 minutes. Minimum.
Okay.
You can do it longer if you like, and you
that's
can
what
do
I was
it more
ask.
frequently.
Can I do it more often and longer?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
That's
absolutely.
Right. All right. Wonderful.
Okay. God bless you, Allison.
Thank you so much, Joanna.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and mute Allison's line, and our next caller comes from a phone number ending in 6348. That's 6348. Your line's open, and who are we speaking with?
Hello, my name is Tui.
Hi, Twee.
Hello,
Hi.
Twee.
I'm calling on behalf of my mother. I taught her the universal healing code to use on herself, and she had insomnia, like she had trouble sleeping even when she takes a sleeping pill.
Okay. And what is your mother's name?
Loan, Loan.
Luan. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we're getting a custom code for your mother to address this condition.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you say for me, I desire to be healthy?
I desire to be healthy.
I am testing for Luan.
I am testing for Luan.
Okay. Just a moment. Have you brought her through the 12 categories? Is she familiar with the 12 categories?
I will explain it to her.
Okay, very good. That's what I would recommend you do. Okay, write this down. Both hands, jaws.
Yes.
Left hand, bridge. Right hand, Adam's apple.
Yes.
Left hand, temple. Right hand, jaw.
Yes.
Both hands, bridge.
Okay.
And I would do this for at least 8 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day or more. have her go through all 12 categories, one category per day.
Another question is, if 8 minutes, what if she do it for example, what if one day she can do it at one time, for example, like 24 minutes, or is it always
No, that's fine. That's fine. She could do it longer, and if it's more convenient to just do it once, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I want to say that you have a very calm and soothing voice.
Oh, thank you. God bless you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and mute Tweed's line, and our next caller comes from a phone number ending in 6353. That's 6353. Your line's open, and who are we speaking with?
Sandy from Canada.
Hi, Andy.
Sandy?
Hi. Oh, Sandy, sorry, thank you.
Hi, Sandy from Canada. What would you like to address?
I have a chronic cough post-radiation, breast cancer, and I have tried many things, and now there's a few allergies, and I've just done the healing codes, the 12. I'm starting my third time around.
Okay. All right. So how do you feel about this cough? What is the negative feeling or belief that you're experiencing with this cough?
It's exhausting. I'm feeling a little bit hopeless. I'm not able to exercise because I get short of breath. It's just limiting.
Okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, Sandy, how strong is that?
When I'm coughing, it's an 11.
No, I mean, like, just knowing you have this condition right now, how, the feeling of hopelessness.
I'd say about a 5. I've become quite accepting of it.
Okay, so, and you have been addressing the 12 categories, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and get a custom code for you, and I want to ask you this. When you think about this feeling of hopelessness and, being limited and what you can do, those kind of feelings you have regarding this condition, is there an early memory that comes up when you can recall feeling that way about something?
Yeah, I think there's several. Just playing, growing up playing, feeling alone and last. There's lots of things. I lost a twin in the womb, and I didn't find out about it till I was 40. So, I've done a lot of work in and around all of that.
Okay. Okay. Well, that if that any childhood memories that you, or any memories for that matter, but look at those and I don't want you to spend a lot of time looking for them, but when you sit down to do the codes, just be really still and just ask, okay, what memories, how do I feel about this condition today? And if it's hopelessness or, feeling limited, that you can't do what you want to do, whatever those feelings or thoughts are, ask yourself, is there a memory that comes up when I've felt this way before? And if a particular memory comes up, you want to capture that. You want to put that into the prayer. We want to heal the charge on that memory and bring those memories down to where you feel peace about them. All right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's get your code. Can you say for me, I desire to be healthy?
I desire to be healthy.
I am ready to test truthfully.
I am ready to test truthfully.
Okay. Say the hopelessness issues.
Say the hopelessness issue?
Yeah, that's right. That's okay. Good.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Say the fear issues.
All right.
Just say that. The fear issues.
Oh, the fear issues, the hopelessness issue and the fear issues.
Right. Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Okay. Write this down. Left hand temple, right hand bridge.
Okay.
Both hands jaws.
Yeah.
Left hand Adam's apple, right hand temple.
Okay. right?
Okay, and that's it. You want to do this for...
There's 3 of them?
There's just 3.
Yeah,
Let's
good.
do this for 6 to 12 minutes or more, 3 times a day.
Okay.
And you want to look for those memories where you have felt the same kind of feelings and thoughts, similar or the same, that you're having regarding this condition.
Cool. And for a week or for how long?
This code is going to be good for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it's going to be most effective for 2 weeks, and then after that you can go back to using the universal code if you like, or if you have the manual, you can use the codes in the manual.
Okay,
but
well,
this is your specific one. Okay. God bless you, Sandy.
God bless you. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and mute Sandy's line, and I think we have time for one more caller if we keep it relatively short. And the phone number ending in 8425, 8425, your line's open, and who are we speaking with?
Hi, my name is Saroj.
Hi, Saroj.
Hi.
Hello, Saroj.
Hi. I came across this your healing code book in library, and I just finished reading it last week, so I'm very new to this concept. I'm recently diagnosed with a condition. It's like a arthritis in my knee, but it's so big that, I'm completely bedridden, and I have lost my mobility 100% from last 3 or 4 months, and burning in my knee is so high that, first 3 months it was ranging like 8 or 9 out of 10, and still it, like with just 1 or 2 minute walk, it can go to 4 or 5. And because of this burning, I started feeling burning all over in my body, and when I saw the doctor, they said it's a secondary fibromyalgia because your burning is so high in your knee from last 3 months, and you are under too much of depression, anxiety, so your brain is always, receiving and sending this signal, and because of that, now you started feeling burning everywhere in your body, which is called as a secondary fibromyalgia. So I would appreciate if you can give me some kind of hint or something so that, I can start. I'm yet to start doing this healing code because, as I said, I just finished reading this book last week.
Okay. We'll get you a custom code for you to use, so you would use this code rather than the universal code that's in the book, which is an excellent code. You can use that one to continue with your healing after a couple of weeks. But I want to encourage you to turn to Chapter 11 and one category. You take one category per day and explore that category, see what things that you recognize in your life going on in that category, and then use this you use this code that I'm going to give you to address it. Okay? So can you say for me, I desire to be healthy.
I desire to be healthy.
I am ready to test truthfully.
I am ready to be tested truthfully.
The fear issues.
The fear issue.
Okay, good. Just a moment. Do you have a pen to write this down?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Please go a little slowly.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, write this down.
Okay.
Left hand bridge, right hand jaw.
Left hand bridge, right hand jaw. Okay.
Both hands, Adam's apple.
Both hand, Adam apple. Okay.
Both hands, temples.
Both hand, temple. Okay.
And the last one is both hands, bridge.
Both hand, bridge. Okay.
Let's do this for a total of 8 minutes or longer, 3 times per day, and address one category per day.
Okay, got it.
And do this for the next 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and mute Saroj's line, and I want a special thank you, obviously, to you, Johanna, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to end our program with the last minute that we have here with a brief question for Dr. Alex. Alex, are you back with us?
Hey, Ken.
Hey, here's a simple question. How do you connect a physical symptom to your spiritual issues?
Yeah, that's a very good question. let me start with people who are way smarter than me. Professor William Tiller from Stanford University, head of the physics department there for years, one of the premier quantum physicists of our day, said to me at breakfast one morning in Payson, Arizona, the unseen is always the parent of the seen, according to science and physics. The seen is never the parent of the unseen. And then he explained it. It's our spiritual issues. It's unforgiveness. It's self-worth. It's insignificance and insecurity. It's rejection. It's fear and anxiety that give rise to health problems, relationship problems, etc., based on whether we believe we can be successful. Very often that manifests physically in the form of money and success in business, but it starts with the non-physical, not the physical. Bruce Lipton, also from Stanford, the medical school there for years, said that every problem in life boils down to a wrong belief that is almost always in your subconscious mind, which is a spiritual issue, and Dr. Lipton would say that too. Rich Glenn, in his best-selling book Transformations, Dr. Richard Glenn, said every problem in your life can be traced back to a image or picture in your spiritual heart. Fix the image or picture, take the lie out, and the symptom problem will heal virtually every time. Dr. John Sarno, MD and PhD at Harvard and NYU, says that cellular memories, destructive cellular memories, which are spiritual issues, are the cause of adult chronic pain and illness. Heal the cellular memory, and the chronic pain and physical illness will almost always go away. So today, in answer to the question, I will give you their opinion, which to me is far weightier and more substantial than mine. I happen to be in complete agreement with them. So, and it's also in harmony with the ancient manuscripts. So it's in harmony with ancient manuscripts. It's in harmony with the latest cutting-edge science, both. It's just that, for a lot of us, it's a relatively new thing. We think, okay, if I've got a physical health issue, I've got a physical health issue. But we don't really think so much maybe about, but where did this first originate? So hope that helped, Ken.
Great. That was perfect, Alex. And that does conclude our program for today. So we're going to go ahead and open the lines like we like to do, just to hear those goodbyes. And we'll see you next.
Bye.
Love you. God bless you. Thank you.